Hey there, it's me Red Knight and welcome back to my channel for a heyday video. Now today's video is taking us to the Czech Republic for the next Chicken Valley. We've got a really nice decoration that relates to this. I've also got some information about some changes coming in the valley, so sit back and enjoy. Now in the dairy news we were shown this beautiful decoration in addition to a lot of the other Halloween decoration that's coming throughout the month. Now I do like this one, it's kind of cool. Now how do we get it? Well, what you've got to do is to collect a load of chickens. When you collect that specific number of chickens, it will open up a special shop. That special shop allows you to purchase some key items. Now, to get that, you're going to have to collect a load of tokens. Those tokens will be required from the buildings and collecting as you drive around. Now, to drive around, you are going to need some fuel. Now, notice the actual fuel dye here. It is returning back to the original amounts, so it's not the high level amounts anymore. In fact, there's some other changes that relate to this, so let's cover those for you. Now first of all, there are going to be fewer tokens. We're going back to the previous maximum amount of fuel, as you've just seen. The fuel option will be faster and easier to do with the quest. Trucks won't break down, and there's no request for actual mechanics because the trucks are not going to break down. So as you drive around the map, it's a continuous activity, driving to the buildings, collecting those tokens, and keep going without the fear of breaking down. Now once the shop is open, you've got a choice of 3 rewards. You can go with the boosters. If you like boosters, that's great, go for them. I'd certainly like to get some of the special boosters, not the regular ones. Next item down there relates to diamonds. Diamonds are cool. I've got plenty of diamonds to keep me going at the moment, but some of you do like to collect those diamonds. Now for me, I'm more interested in the decoration, and I do like this deco indeed. It relates to a very beautiful clock building design in the Czech Republic, and I'm going to tell a little bit more about that in a moment. But let's look at the deco. Now here you can see 2 decos facing different directions, just so you can see what it looks like, and as we zoom into one of them you can see what it actually is. You've got some crows doing some maintenance work, and you can actually see the dial moving around as well, and it's kind of cool. Now as I said, this deco is in the Czech Republic, and looking on the internet I found some really cool information, so I'm going to tell you all about it now as we move into the next part of this video. So sit back and enjoy this aspect. Now first of all, this is called the Prague astronomical clock. It's one of the world's most famous astronomical clocks, and it looms over the side street in the old city of Prague with a complex astronomical dial, multiple myths, and a recent scandal. Ooh, I like scandals. Now the Gothic style tower was built during the 14th century to warn townsfolk of the danger of ranging from fires to invasions, and later connected to the old town hall. In the early 15th century, the Sentinel expanded beyond just a tower when the clock and the dial were added. Now, the astronomical clock has been repaired many times throughout the years, and the moving gears and components restored. On May 8th, 1945, the tower nearly collapsed during Nazi attacks in World War II. Interesting information, by the way. Now, the old town hall nearby buildings burnt along with a few wooden sculptures adorning the tower. After 3 years, local citizens banded together to repair the machinery and new sculptures and set the Prague clock into a motion once again. Thank you very much for that. Now, the Apostle March, the astronomical clock tower known as the Orloj, pronounced Orloj by the local Czechs, is comprised of 3 sections: windows for the 12 apostles to behold the public, an astronomical dial, and a calendar dial. The blue windows at the top of the highlight, at the top highlight where the apostle figures come forward hourly, known as the Apostle March. The twin dials in the middle of the Orloj are an apostle device tracking the sun, moon, and bright star. The 12 apostle figures parade around the clock every hour as 2 blue trapdoors open, allowing them to gaze upon the people in the town square for a few moments. To see the figures in the inner portions of the astrolabe up close, one can purchase tickets. Now this includes a climb to the top of the tower, where you can observe the complex gears which rotate the apostles, permitting 2 at once to behold the public. The apostles rotate so 2 at a time can peer outside at the beginning of a new hour. Kind of cool, I must admit I'd love to go into this building to have a look. Now the next section of the Orloj is the astronomical clock that faces a series of complex dials and lines of positions, also known as the astrolabe, or a flattened planetarium, which is very interesting indeed. Now, astrolabes are mechanical instruments showcasing heavenly bodies' positions which enable navigators to measure their latitude on the surface of the Earth, day or night. Very cool indeed. I'd like to know how to do that myself. Now, for Prague Astronomical Tower, the sun, moon, and local horizons are displayed. Find the moon's line of position by spotting the black hand with the silver and or black orb. The colour scheme represents the lunar phases during a full moon. As the moon rotates, more black phase will be shown until completely dark, as in a new moon. The moon also moves on the clock face counterclockwise and requires 24 hours, 50 minutes and 28 seconds to travel once around the face. The sun, depicted as a brilliant star, travels around the face clockwise. The various colours of the dial represent daylight or nighttime. Blue represents day, while red on the face highlights sunrise on the left and sunset on the right. Finally, black depicts nighttime. Wow, I definitely need to go and visit this place. The clock face displays 4 different times, some recognisable and others ancient. Beginning on the outer dial, in deep blue is Bohemian, time shown in Gothic numbers. The day consists of 24 hours and starts from sunset rather than midnight, as we'd use today. Bohemian time was utilised by Holy Roman Emperor Charles and is pointed to here by the golden hand. Very nice indeed. Next is the Central European Time set zone. 2 sets of 12 hours shown on Roman numerals inside the Bohemian time numbers. CET is also indicated by the golden sun hand. Wow. Third is the Babylonian or Arabian time, the oldest time displayed in the astronomical dial. Babylonian time displayed in the black Arabic numeral separates the time between sunrise and sunset. That's why there are only 12 hours. Very cool information indeed. Finally, we have star time or sidereal time. Sidereal uses the time it takes Earth to rotate once on its axis and return and face a distant star. Its time is 23 hours and 56 minutes, 4 minutes shorter. The solar day is defined by when the sun is overhead at noon, which must account for the Earth tracking 1 degree 1 day along its orbit around the sun, and hence is longer. Follow the little golden star amongst the Roman numerals for sidereal time. Examining the astronomical clock further, one can spot a smaller dial within the entire face. The smaller circle is a zodiac divided into 12 signs and connected with the position of the time. Sun Thursday as the sun voyages around. This complex astronomical piece is an impressive feat of craftsmanship and science. Tell me about it. That's a lot of really diverse information. And I must admit, I love the look of this actual design, both in the original and the one that Heyday's done. In fact, I'm going to show you some photos later of the original, so sit back and enjoy. Next part, the calendar. The final component of the horologe is the calendar plate. On the blue outer circle is a church calendar listing each day and the names of 365 saints. Really? That's a lot of information. There are numerous myths attributed to the horologe. According to one myth, the skeleton located near the upper right side of the astrolabe represents an ominous omen. If the horologe stops running for a lengthy time, checks will suffer bad times. The skeleton will nod its head. The only way to undo a situation is reset the horologe into motion. Then a boy born on a New Year's Eve must sprint from the Tyne church across the whole town square to the town hall. He has to run very swiftly to arrive before the last strike of the clock. Good luck on that one. A second myth highlights positive vibes of hope. There are 2 small windows above the astronomical clock, the apostle doors. The windows provide light leading to a medieval jail. According to a myth, a knight was captured and awaiting his execution. One day the knight peered out of a window as the clock started to strike at the top of the hour, and a sparrow flew towards the skeleton's open mouth. When the skeleton closed its jaw, the bird became trapped inside. Well, that's not so nice for the bird. Very unfortunate indeed. The sparrow had to wait an hour before the skeleton opened its jaw again, able to fly free. When the knight witnessed the sparrow fly free, he believed he would go free as well. Sure enough, the knight received the pardon just in time. Thus, the scary skeleton also became the symbol of hope. Interesting. Today the skeleton rings a bell, acting as the Grim Reaper, reminding all that we have limited time. Next to their slow other figures set in motion during the top of each hour. From left to right they are vanity, avarice and lust. They move either their hands or heads slightly. While the clock has repaired many times over the years and all the moving parts have been restored, nearly 75% are still original parts from the 15th century. But sometimes repairs and renovations bring shocking changes. What kind of changes? In 2018, calendar dial was reproduced by artist Stanislav Djurek, following the original Joseph Mann's painting. However, the Heritage Group Club for Old Prague noticed some of the zodiac calendar paint is slightly changed, registering a complaint. The artist was accused of putting likenesses of friends and acquaintances into the 15th century clock, possibly as a joke, and radically changing the appearance, ages, skin tone, dress, and even genders of the figures. Oh my God, that's so scandalous, but cool as well. The controversy raised questions regarding the artist's intentions, as well as how well conservationists and Prague City Hall checked his work, such as that 4 years before the concerns were raised. 4 years before they even identified a problem. Someone was slacking. As of 2022, officials were discussing if a new calendar wheel that more faithfully recreates the original artwork would be needed. I kind of like the fact that the new one is there, and it sounds much more interesting indeed. I wonder if they've kept the old imagery to look at. Now, renovation scandals aside, clock is a fascinating landmark from an artistic, engineering, astronomical perspective. The tower also offers beautiful views of Prague, standing at 230 feet or 70 meters high. Now, I must admit, I did find this one actually very interesting, and when I went on the websites to find the details, and as I've just mentioned, there's a lot more information down that you might find cool and interesting to look at. Now, for me, I love looking at the feedback or information that relates to the deco that Heyday's given us. So here are some links for you to check out as well. You can find these wonderful websites. They're all slightly different with some information and photos as well. And speaking of photos, I'm going to be sharing some of those with you at the moment. Now here's the actual town hall building itself. These are the actual apostles on the inside, and this is the part of the clock face itself. So I'm showing you the one aspect and the second aspect down there in this image. Beautiful, if I do say so. You can see the two circular dial pieces there, and very nice indeed. Now, this is the wonderful decoration we're getting. I hope you will compete for it. Remember, the Chicken Valley has changes again, so do go back and double check that. I will share the information separately later. If you would like to support me, please do hit code REDNIGHT, that's R3DKNIGHT. You can use that both in-game and in the Supercell store. So, I will say goodbye to you. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later when I go live. But either way, don't forget to subscribe and watch my other videos. Bye now.